P2096 Post Catalyst Fuel Trim System 2 Lean Bank 1. Looks like I'm changing O2 sensors. Y'all stick around. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Clint. My check engine light came on the other day on the way home from work. Pulled it in the shop today, threw the OBD2 reader on it. Code was P2096. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your O2 sensor. O2 sensors generally last 100 to 120,000 miles. This truck's got 321,000 miles on it, and I've only put one set of O2 sensors in it. So the OE sensors and the sensors that I put in it lasted roughly a little over 150,000 miles each. On this 2005 Dodge Ram, I've got 4 O2 sensors, 2 upstream and 2 downstream. What your upstream sensors measure is the burnt air-fuel mixture that's coming out of your engine. The upstream sensor measures the amount of oxygen that's still in that exhaust. It sends that information back to your ECM, and the fuel management system part of your ECM adjusts the fuel-air ratio through the injectors so that your engine burns efficiently. If the O2 sensors are bad, then it can send faulty information to the ECM and it'll make your engine not run good. The downstream sensors are behind the catalytic converter, and it just makes sure that your catalytic converter is working correctly. Now my code was Bank 1 upstream. Bank 1 means the side of the engine that the number 1 cylinder is on. And on this HEMI, that's on the driver's side. And generally speaking, it's that way for almost all V8s. Changing out these O2 sensors is a fairly simple task, minimal tools required, and really not a lot of mechanical knowledge. As long as you can find the O2 sensors, should be able to change them. Now, even though I only had a code for 1 sensor, I'm going ahead and replacing all 4 of them, because if one's going bad, pretty good chance they're all about to go bad. I've already done the passenger side. This was the upstream sensor. It looks like it's got 150,000 miles on it. And this was the downstream sensor. It looks burned up pretty good. Tools needed for this would be an O2 sensor removal socket like this, and a 3/8" breaker bar. It has some length to it. Don't use one any shorter than 6 inches because you're going to need to get a little torque on it. If you don't have an O2 sensor socket, your local parts store has them. I'll have a link in the description below to the kit that I have. I ordered off Amazon. I've used it on Grunt. I've used it on this one twice now. It works. But if all else fails, if you have a 7/8" box end wrench, you'll probably make it work that way too. Just slide your wires through the hole, get it down there and break it loose. And this is a ratcheting box end, but it doesn't have to be a ratcheting. This would probably work too. And another really good tool to have is an OBD2 scanner. These are not expensive, and I got this one off Amazon too. So I'll have a link in the description for this as well. They're made by NTK, which if you're familiar with NGK spark plugs, same company. Part numbers are 23160 for your upstream and 23159 for your downstream.
All right, y'all, this is going to be almost impossible for me to record while I'm doing this. Here's your catalytic converter on your driver's side, and right there is your upstream O2 sensor. And again, this is your catalytic converter, and then your downstream O2 sensor is right there. So you can see I'm having to work with my drive shaft and this torsion bar, and one-handed, not going to work. So I'm going to go to work on this, and I'll show you where I'm at. All right, I got my tool on here right here. Just follow your wire up, and you'll find the plug to it. It's just a push-pull plug. When I get all this out, I'll show you the tool that I used. Came in the kit. Could not use a box end wrench. Couldn't use the first tool. But I've got it broke loose, so I'm going to pull this one out and put the new one in, and I'll show you what I got then. All right, the new one's in on the upstream. Now let's go to the downstream. All right, I know it's blurry. Sorry, y'all. That's the best I can do. I ended up using a 7/8 open-ended wrench to get the rear one loose. Now the plug for the rear one, I'm not going to lie to you, it was a pain in the butt. I had to reach one hand under here and then the other hand over the top to get enough pressure on it to get that plug undone. I'm not looking forward to plugging the new one in.
All right, I'm using my phone for this because my other camera is just way too big. But anyway, the downstream one is in. And the connector for that dude is right there. And that is a pain in the ass. It really is. So just be prepared to be a contortionist to get your arms up in there to get that unplugged and plugged back up. Well, I misspoke a little bit. This is a job that's going to take you 30 minutes on the driver's side and 15 minutes on the passenger side. You can tell by all the dirt all over my face and on my arms that I was having to reach around. The driver's side is a pain in the butt, but it's still more satisfying to do it yourself in your driveway or in your garage instead of paying somebody a couple $100 to do what you can do. And that's why I make these videos, because I'm in the business of saving money. I'm fixing to retire. Daddy fixing to be on a, what do you call that? A fixed income. One thing I did forget to mention, on these new O2 sensors, of course this is the old one, there's going to be a little plastic cap that fits over it. And what this does is they've put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads. So this just holds that on there and keeps it from getting all over your sensor. It's not a screw on, you can pull it off, but I unscrewed it because it comes off a little easier and helps not get any of that anti-seize on your sensors. All right, this is a post-job tool overview. This is the O2 sensor kit that I have, that I bought off Amazon, and I'll have a link to this in the description. What you have here are 3 different sockets for your sensors, and then you've got 2 different thread chasers. Because a lot of times if, your exhaust system gets hot, it's going to get rusty. Sometimes you got to chase those threads in those bungs, and that's what these are for. On the passenger side, I used this socket along with this long 3/8 ratchet. On the driver's side, I ended up having to use this socket. This is the only one that would work. I couldn't get a wrench up in there or anything. So I used this socket again with this long 3/8 ratchet. And then on the downstream, I used the old trusty 7/8 inch open end of the wrench. I hope this video will give you enough insight into how to do this job yourself. It'll save you a couple $100 and give you the satisfaction of knowing you did the job yourself and it was done right. Hope you all liked the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Till the next time, keep the shiny side up and wrench on. It's Beer 30.